what's happening, gamers? I am Kwing and welcome to our Let's Play channel. Today we're looking at the Bronze Tiger, which is another fan request, so yay! This minifigure's character token can be found on Knock, and I'll run you 75,000 studs. Okay, so his abilities consist of digging and acrobatics. So Bronze Tiger's real name is Benjamin Turner, and he was created by Denny O'Neil and Jim Barry in the 70s. He first appeared in a DC novel named Dragon's Fists in 1974. And of course, a year later, he made his comics debut as a part of the Richard Dragon series, but more on that. No, I'm never really going to talk about that. All you need to know is later Bronze Tiger became a low-grade Batman foe and ally. Brought up in the middle-class neighborhood of Central City, when he was 10 years old, the biggest thing that he did was save his family from a burglar with a kitchen knife. And then in order to cage his aggression and rage later in his life, Ben takes up martial arts, which is good to learn discipline, because you lack discipline. Eventually, he ends up listening to the wrong crowd and ends up in jail for a time. After getting out of jail and, trying to put away his inner demons, he heads to the Far East to train under a guy named O-Sensei. He also becomes pals with a guy named Richard Dragon, who's a martial artist guy too, and he had a kung fu comic book in the 70s called Richard Dragon, Kung Fu something. He joined a few organizations with other governments and things like that, the first being GOOD, which, I'll never forget this, it stands for Global Organization of Organized Defense, so good. While working to take down the League of Assassins with his pal Dragon, Ben's girlfriend is killed and he becomes brainwashed by the League of Assassins, or Shadows, Raz's group. He then takes the identity of Bronze Tiger. Well, more or less he's given that identity. Also, he becomes the sensei of Cassandra Cain, later Batgirl. What's cool about Bronze Tiger is no one really knows who he is under the mask. He wore gloves and a mask, and nobody knew except for, I think, Raz and Talia. Everybody else is like, this guy is just Tiger. After the whole Richard Dragon series, he mostly hangs out with the League of Assassins and earns a nasty rap and becomes respected by bad guys everywhere. He also gets on Batman's naughty list when he kills a former love interest, Kathy Kane, who was the original Batwoman. After the Crisis on Infinite Earths, Barry run Barry, she was rebooted as just being a former girlfriend and never a costume hero. She has no relation to the current Batwoman. Okay, so after the crime is committed, Bronze Tiger and Batman fight. After being de-brainwashed, Bronze Tiger becomes a member of the Suicide Squad. While that group mostly consists of bad guys, Tiger is like the second command of the group and essentially an anti-hero slash good guy. He works under Rick Flag, and he really enforces Waller's rules about the neck accessories, because that's important for bad guys to wear so they behave. He and Vixen, the superheroine, also have a thing for a while, and after Flag is missing in action, Bronze Tiger becomes the leader for the squad. Eventually, he loses his mind, though, because of all the stuff that happened with the League, and he opens up a Tiger Dojo in Detroit and retires from government stuff. In the late 90s, Waller convinces Bronze Tiger to return to active duty, and he's kind of like, I guess. He leads the squad for a few more missions, and then everything goes crazy. Vixen joins the Justice League and breaks up with him, and most of his team, while expendable, Turner really cares for those people, and he tried to protect them from the Apocalypse traitor, and things didn't go so well for the team. Most of the squad is, killed in action. When a new squad is chosen, Ben retires and goes back to his dojo. Once in a while, he assists Batman with some missions, or the US government, or whatever government, gives him money. But for the most part, he's a martial arts teacher and retired. One of his greatest joys in life was knowing that Cassandra Cain became a hero and not a villain, which made him very happy. In the New 52, Bronze Tiger is a well-known member of the League of Assassins. As for other media, well, Bronzy was in Batman Brave and the Bold, though never really a bad guy. He's just a student of one of Batman's teachers in the Far East. Some villains attack, slay the master that they both share, and challenge Tiger and Batman to a fight to the death. Of course, our heroes win, and the Tiger reopens the school in honor of his master, along with having a sparring match with Batman to see who is the best, which is of course reference to when Batman and Bronze Tiger first fought in the 70s, though Ben totally cheated and did not fight honorably because he cheap-shotted the Batman, who was protecting Kathy at the time. Ben appeared in the Arrow show as both a bad guy and later anti-hero. He wore a brown leather jacket and carried around hand claws. He was a member of Waller's Suicide Squad and friends with Deadshot in that universe. According to the Arrow Season 2.5 comics, Ben dies protecting John Diggle and Deadshot from a terrorist. So he's no longer going to be in the show. Another version of Ben appears in Arkham Blackgate, so Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate, where he plays a role of Gladiator in Penguin's arena in the prison yard. After facing Batman, he assists the Dark Knight in going after the Penguin, and at the very end of the game, she recruits him into the Squad, or Task Force X. Okay, now there's technically a character like Bronze Tiger in Beware the Batman, but it's not Bronze Tiger. It's a guy who wears like kind of a tiger mask. He knew Katana, he's after a Soul Taker's sword or whatever, and I believe he gets betrayed by Talia or Cheshire or somebody. I never really watched the show, it was weird, alright? And that's all you need to know, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching another lore video, this time on Bronze Tiger. If you have a character you want to learn about next, let me know in the comment section below. Have a great Saturday night, and I'll see you in the next Batman 3 video. God bless and happy gaming, bye-byes.